Well, hey there, partner. Welcome to the show. They call me G-Mac around these parts. Oh, hey guys. I didn't see you there. I'm just painting a few little happy trees today. I got a few clouds here, a few clouds there. As you can see, this cloud didn't turn out so well. But you know what they say, you don't make mistakes, just happy accidents. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about 90's cards. And you may say, well Greg, I already know about 90's cards. I subscribe to your podcast. And I'm going to tell you that's okay. But there are some people who want to learn about 90's cards or want to be better 90's collectors. And that's what today is about. So I'm going to recommend several resources to you guys. They're optional, they're completely optional, but you may want to use them because they could be very helpful. And if you do use them, I think you're going to benefit greatly as a result. The first thing, again, completely optional. First thing I have is the 2005 Standard Catalog of Baseball Cards. As you can see, this thing is massive. It's by Sports Collectors Digest. It is absolutely insane the amount of stuff this has. So this book doesn't have all the information, but it has a lot of information. If you pair this up with Baseball Cardpedia, you're going to have a lot of information at your fingertips. I used the 1998 Donruss Crusade as an example. The blurb says, this 100 card insert was included in 1998 Donruss, 40 cards, Leaf, 30 cards, Donruss Update, 30 cards. The cards use refractive technology and the background features heraldic style lions. The cards are sequentially numbered to 250, Crusade Purple numbered to 100, and Red 25. Parallels were also inserted in the 3 products. Then over here it goes to 1998 Donruss Update Crusade. This 30 card insert is continued from 98 Donruss and Leaf baseball sets. Each card features a color action photo in front of a medieval background. The player's name and background are green and each card is serial numbered to 250, purple to 100, red 25. Parallel versions were also created. Crusade is a 130 card cross-brand insert with 40 cards included in 98 Donruss, 30 in each 1998 Leaf and Leaf Rookie Stars. Again, this thing is massive, but it has a lot of information. I can't guarantee all of it is 100% accurate, but if you pair it along with Baseball Cardpedia, you're going to have a very accurate source of information. If you don't want to get that big book, I also recommend getting a Beckett from either 98, 99, 2000, 2001, whatever year you want. I recommend getting something like that as either a pairing with the big book or just as a separate resource, because Beckett also works very well and they also have accurate numbers. So as you can see, along with the big book, the Beckett, and Baseball Cardpedia, you're going to have a ton of information. I also like to use Beckett Online and Trading Card Database as well. Both of those have pretty accurate checklists. They're not always 100% accurate, but they do have a lot of information. And if you pair all of these things together, you're going to come up with something that's fairly accurate. I also recommend using any of the forums and searching for something that you're looking for, because a lot of times you're going to come across a post or a comment that talks about something that you're interested in or something that you're researching, and you're going to find out new information. I am not done learning by any means. I'm like a sponge and I try to absorb everything I can, but I forget a lot. And so sometimes I have to go back to posts or comments to find out what exactly they said because I don't remember. But again, those are stored online in the cloud, everywhere. They're everywhere. Our 90's inserts are everywhere. You just have to look them up. And you can find them on the forums. You can find them on Beckett, in the book, anywhere you want. Facebook is even a great resource. Our 90's to 2004 insert group, ton of information. Some of it insider knowledge, some of it acquired through the forums that they remember. But our group, when put together, is probably one of the most accurate and knowledgeable 90's groups that ever existed. Now, what I recommend if you're trying to get into 90s, along with the things that I just mentioned, are searching for players on Beckett or on eBay. Let's say you're looking for Griffey inserts. Go to Beckett, type in Ken Griffey Jr. You're going to get a ton of cards, thousands of cards, and it's going to be overwhelming. At that point, you can do 1997 Griffey, 1998 Griffey, 1998 Donruss Griffey. There are so many options and so many ways to narrow your search that it can become less overwhelming for you, and I highly recommend that. Another thing I would do is find somebody who is not as popular as Griffey, but is still in that year, such as Travis Lee. Travis Lee was in a few sets, so if you put Travis Lee in, you're going to see all of the inserts that he was in, and you're going to find some Griffey inserts as well. If you're looking for something in the earlier 90s, go with that. Put in Rico Bronya. You're going to find out that he was in the Mere Gold. You're going to find out he has a few refractors. I also recommend going on eBay and looking at sold listings, because if you search for Griffey, you search for Sandberg, Puckett, Travis Lee, you're going to see inserts that they were in that you can log and look for at a later time. But those are a few things you can do to find cards that you've never seen before. Again, I also recommend looking at the 90s group to see what kind of inserts are being posted, because with 1,000 plus people in that group, there are postings every day about inserts that you might have forgotten about, you didn't even know existed. What I would do is I would search a player, try to go by year, try to go by set, and see what's out there so that you can find out what you're actually interested in. If you're not sure what the card looks like, because Beckett doesn't always have pictures, you can go on eBay, look at things that are posted, look at things that are sold, and see what the card actually looks like. And if you still can't find it there, come to the 90s group, search for a card, search for the player, search for the player collector, and you're most likely going to find an example of the card that you're trying to see. A lot of times I will go down a rabbit hole on eBay or Beckett, searching for sets, searching for players, finding new cards, finding inserts that I didn't know existed, parallels of inserts. There's just so much information, and I understand how it can be overwhelming. But if you start small, you're going to be able to branch out, and you're going to be able to learn a lot more because you're not going to be overwhelmed. So with those things, I think you got a good foundation for finding 90s cards that you're interested in, finding 90s cards that you want to collect, and being a part of a community that is pretty knowledgeable and awesome to be a part. I routinely hear how people are excited to be in the 90s group, or they say it's the best or most informative group, and that's true. Our group rocks in terms of information. So I highly recommend you join that if you haven't. But otherwise, use these resources to your benefit. Don't get overwhelmed. Search for something small. Also, go to card shows. Nowadays, you're going to see a lot more 90s than in the last couple of years. Just the other day at the Nashville Card Show, I found this 98 Destination Cooperstown McGuire, which is awesome, for $15. It was a great deal. Perfect 90s card. It's one of my favorite Frank Thomas cards. Had to have it. $15. How can you go wrong, you know? So do that as well. Go around the tables, look at all the 90s cards. If you're not sure what it is, ask the dealer. But all of these things put together is going to make you a great 90s collector. I also recommend a podcast that Joe and Rodney did where they listed 90s cards and they separated them in tiers, 1, 2, and 3. I think it's a 2-part series, maybe more, but it was very informative. And if you're looking for a Cliff Notes version of what is the best 90s card, what is a middle 90s card, what is a lower end 90s card, I recommend watching that video because it was extremely helpful for any 90s collector or people who are looking for current modern valuations of their cards. I know some of you guys already know this information. I know some of you guys are way more knowledgeable than just little old me, but I hope some of you found this helpful so that you can continue your climb into 90s cards or become a better collector for the 90s, because I want more people. I want more people in the 90s group. I want more people collecting 90s cards. I want to see 10 times more 90s cards at card shows, at the National, online, Facebook. I just want to see these great 90s inserts and everybody collecting them just like modern or vintage. So I hope you guys had a good time. I hope you learned a little bit. Comment, subscribe, like, be a part of the Essential Credentials crew, be a part of our channel. I want to see you guys be a part of the 90s community with me. Thank you.